The first air of business in the new Republican-controlled House of Representatives. The whole of the original U.S. Constitution will be read out. It's supposed to be proof of the Republican commitment to hold true to the principles on which America was founded. Well, it'll mean reading out the 7 articles and 27 amendments which make up the nation's governing document. And that amounts to 4,543 words. And that could take up to half an hour or more to read out aloud. Apparently some people even say as long as 2 hours. The Act will appeal to Tea Party activists who believe much of the extra spending commitments and taxes of recent years are unconstitutional. We're joined live from Washington by Elizabeth Wydra, a lawyer and constitutional expert. What do you make of all this then?
Well, I think it's a fantastic idea. It is, as you said, a little bit of political theater, but it's an appropriate one. All members of Congress in the U.S., both Democrat and Republican, are sworn to uphold the Constitution. And that's the entire Constitution, which will be read today, and not just the bits and pieces of it that they like.
Is it always possible, though, to, for example, relate the framing of modern laws in the modern world that we live in with this document hundreds of years old?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's important to note that the document in its entirety is not hundreds of years old. The American people have amended the Constitution over the past 2 centuries 27 times. And that has written into the original Constitution, which was a bit of political genius, but was still deeply flawed. And the American people have made it even greater by writing into the Constitution the abolition of slavery, expanded democracy, and fundamental equality and liberty, because the Constitution was written in order to endure and not need to be updated, with every new session of Congress or every political election.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? The Republicans are saying that before any new law is passed in the House of Representatives, they want to find a justification in the Constitution. Again, that's going to be quite difficult with lots of modern issues that weren't even in the thoughts of the Founding Fathers.
I don't think it will be that difficult. The Constitution gives Congress broad and substantial power to legislate in areas of national importance to the United States under the Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution, which allows Congress to legislate in matters of interstate commerce. And Congress has broad power to tax and spend for the general welfare, and in addition to pass laws that are necessary and proper to carrying out those other enumerated powers in the Constitution. So the federal government in the United States really does have all the tools that it needs to address national problems and secure the fundamental rights of Americans and those in the United States under the Constitution, especially as amended.
Absolutely fascinating. Elizabeth Wydra, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, what is it that can make the voice of a choir boy or girl send a shiver down